Hi, my name is Sally, and I live an ordinary life. I never knew my dad, so it's always been just my mom and me. My mom is an incredible caterer, world class even, if you asked me. But because of the struggling economy, all her hard work just about keeps us afloat. Still, we've managed to enjoy life in our own way. Then one day, I was eating cereal when my mom burst in with life-changing news. Hang on to your boots because I have rocking news. What boots? Oh, don't ruin my joke. Anyway, remember my last interview? I got the job. You are now looking at the new lunch lady of the prestigious Willow High School. For real? That's not even the best part. They offer a staff discount, which means you can now attend Willow High. OMG! Now that's rocking news! Ew! Willow High was the dream of every kid in the city. Rumor had it that the president's kid went there too. I would get to mingle with the creme de la creme of society. Oh, somebody pinch me. My first day was finally here. I kept checking my hair and outfit in the mirror, even though I'd already picked out my best clothes and ironed them twice the night before. Remember, they're just people, and you are the most brilliant kid I know. And how many kids do you know? All right, off you go now, Miss Smarty Pants. Not gonna lie, though I'd heard about Willow High's reputation, I was still shocked when I stepped inside. Everything was so pristine and classy. Let's just say, compared to my old school, the lack of graffiti and litter really caught me off guard. But I immediately got my groove back as soon as class started. The teachers were all impressed by how quickly and accurately I answered their questions. By the time recess rolled around, I was beaming with confidence. So, I thought I'd try to get friendly with my new classmates. Hi, I'm Sally, your new classmate. Yes, one of those charity kids. I can tell just by looking at your clothes. Are these like your hand-me-downs? No. I bought them new at the mall downtown. They threw me one last glance, then just stood up and left. A few students nearby were staring at me now. But worst of all, I felt tears welling up in my eyes. Then a scary realization hit me. If that was how they reacted to my best clothes, imagine what they'd say if they found out my mom was the lunch lady. That thought alone sent shivers down my spine. I ended up eating lunch in class to avoid them altogether. I couldn't bring myself to tell Mom what happened either. She was so excited about the job, I didn't want to ruin her mood. Hey, sweetie. So, how was your first day? I didn't see you at lunchtime. Oh, I sat with some girls from class, so guess it was too crowded for you to spot me. Already made friends, huh? Atta girl, I knew you'd fit right in. It soon became my usual routine to stay in class all day, even during recess and lunch. The rich kids treated me horribly, but at least I still enjoyed the learning part. One time, I was having lunch outside, minding my business, when someone walked up to me. Why do you always eat by yourself? Too poor for lunch or something? No reason. My parents are only making me do this so I learn how to be humble. So you're not dirt poor and a charity kid like everyone says? Of course not. In fact, I'm the opposite. I'm really rich. Oh, what kind of rich? Heiress, royalty, or Wall Street dad? Heiress! Yeah, that's right. I'm the heiress to, one of the biggest dynasties in Europe. But you can't tell anyone. I was supposed to keep it a secret, all right? Oh, I'm the best secret keeper. Your secret is in safe hands. Boy, oh boy, did she lie. Before school was even over, I had already become the hottest topic of conversation. I immediately knew what had happened, so I went looking for the girl. Hey, I told you not to tell. Oh, I didn't really tell. Only to Frankie. But she told Jane, then Jane told Poppy, and she told Beth, and so practically the whole school. Oops, sorry. After a sleepless night spent just being anxious, I decided it was best to come clean before things got even more out of hand. But when I walked into school the next day, everything was different. The kids acknowledged me, said hello, and some even gave me a hug. It felt so good not to be invisible anymore that I thought there was nothing wrong with enjoying it a little longer. Unfortunately, the news had already reached even the mean girls of my class. I heard this is the new hot spot for heiresses. Not really. Don't say anything. Your secret is safe with us. Oh, and what are you doing after school? Someone's dad bought a new yacht and invited us to test it out. You game? What now? I was so stunned. I ended up muttering a yes. Great, but before we go, we have to go to my house to give you a makeover. I get the whole lesson thing, but you can't go on a yacht like this. Just like that, it was too late to tell the truth. They had initiated me into their circle, and I couldn't leave because I didn't want to. I was having the time of my life. That day, Megan took me to her house, which honestly looked more like a palace, and gave me a makeover, completed with a brand new wardrobe for our hangouts, so my fake parents wouldn't find out. And the yacht, oh my God! Everyone was so happy to get to know me. But there was one small problem. I had to keep lying.
So, what part of Europe are you originally from?
Oh, Belarus?
Hey, I've been there before. The waters there are so incredible. And there was this dish we had, what's it called?
Toilet! I need to go. BRB. Besides some awkward moments, things were mostly going fine until we got an announcement for a school trip to Europe. Ooh, I'm so excited for this trip. We're all coming, right? Yeah, of course. The truth was, Mama told me we couldn't afford to pay the required fees. Now how was I supposed to explain to my rich friends that I was too broke to visit my own home? I thought I'd have to make up another lie. But then, Mama once again came in with rocking news.
Hold your applause, because I just saved the day.
What are you saying, Mom?
You know how I'm going on the trip as a caterer? Well, I just spoke to the principal and asked if I could bring you along as one of the kitchen helpers. And he said yes! So you're going too, sweetheart?
Really?
Really? I'll do anything for you. Get packed. You are going to Europe. But I am going to need your help. Promise me you will help out.
Oh, I promise, Mom! You're the best! Crisis averted. New crisis created. Now how could I play both roles without getting caught? The first challenge? The flight to Europe. Mom and I arrived at the airport together early on the day of the trip. I wore thick sunglasses and a hoodie. Luckily, our seats were so out of sight that no one saw me. As soon as we landed, I stepped away from Mom and secretly joined my friends. Hey, guys! Hey, were you on the plane? I didn't think I saw you at all. Oh, I had special seats. Welcome to Europe, everyone! It took some effort, but I figured out a routine. I spent the day avoiding my mom and only sneaking into our shared room when no one was looking.
Where have you been? I looked everywhere for you. I needed your help earlier.
I know, Mom. I'm so sorry. Someone had an emergency and I had to help. I promise I'll help with breakfast in the morning.
Promise? I'll have you wake up very early and go buy groceries to make up for today then.
No problem, Mom. I'll be the earliest bird.
All right. Here's my card then. The grocery list is on the table. Now go to bed or else you can't get up tomorrow.
Just then, my phone started beeping. It was a text from Megan that read, "Emergency. My room. Now." I have to go, Mom. I'll explain when I come back. Wait! I ran to Megan's room as fast as I could, thinking it was actually an emergency. But turns out, we're sneaking out. Shopping time! Wait, what? Everything happened so fast. In just seconds, we'd already arrived at a huge designer shop. Beth and Megan were shopping away while I stood in the corner, completely unfamiliar with all the glamour before my eyes. Aren't you going to get something? I don't really need anything. Nobody needs designer stuff. You just buy them anyway. What about these glasses? Looks cute on you. You should totally buy them. Well, it just so happened that I had Mom's credit card with me now. And surely one pair of sunglasses couldn't cost that much, right? Yeah, apparently the cashier didn't think so.
We're having problems authorizing this charge. Your total bill has exceeded the spending limit on the card.
Fine, just give me the card back. Take your glasses and I'll just leave.
I'm sorry, miss. Standard protocols have been activated, and the cardholder has been contacted.
You did what? Then I heard a voice that made my stomach drop.
Sally, what are you doing here? I thought my card got stolen.
Ew, why is the lunch lady speaking to you? Excuse me, you need to mind your own business.
This is my business. I am her mom. What is going on?
Nope, she is an heiress in Belarus. Sally, tell this lady to leave us be.
Is that so, Sally?
I can explain, Mom. Mom? My mom just grabbed her card and quietly walked away, but I could see tears forming in the corners of her eyes. Exposed for all my lies, I froze on the spot, unable to think of any way to fix it. The rest of the trip was a complete disaster. I started helping out in the kitchen, for real this time, but Mom wouldn't talk to me or even look my way. All day long, I kept hearing stuff like, "Hey, heiress of the kitchen kingdom, can I have more beans?"
Hey, you're royal of rags. Some gravy over here.
I hated it. My life now sucked way more than it had ever been, even when I still went to public school. But the worst part was that my mom was still giving me the cold shoulder. Even after the trip, her anger didn't seem to subside. "Mom, please. I'm so sorry. I never meant for all this to happen. It just got out of hand. I just wanted to be like them. Be one of the normal kids."
Normal? So you're so ashamed of who I am that you had to lie to feel normal?
"No, Mom, you don't understand."
You're right. I don't. I don't understand how the child I've spent every minute raising could be so willing to deny me just to fit in with a bunch of rich, snotty kids. After everything I've taught you, do you really believe those are the kind of friends you want in your life? The ones who made you lie about who you are and push your own mother aside?
I knew what I did wrong, but Mom didn't understand how much I needed those lies just to survive at school. I wanted to tell her what it felt like to be mocked every day, but hearing the pain in her voice made the guilt sink in. Since the incident, I went back to being a nobody, always sitting alone and eating lunch in class. The kids eventually ran out of jokes and settled for just laughing when I walked by. It wasn't pleasant, but at least it was easier to bear. One day, I was heading back to class from the restroom when I heard a commotion in the cafeteria.
"I asked for mashed potatoes. Can't you even get an order right? And I told you this isn't a restaurant. The menu's set for today."
"How dare you talk to her like that? Her father's yearly donation pays for your salary. So technically, she's your boss, you know." Seeing the saddened look on Mom's face and her hard work going unnoticed, I was filled with anger. "Excuse me? You're not allowed to talk to my mom like that." "Oh, look. It's the princess of Bella Nothing."
Oh, ha ha. You're mocking someone who works hard every day to feed the entire school, including you. How high and mighty of you.
The whole school went silent, and all eyes were on us. Beth and Megan's faces turned bright red with embarrassment.
Pfft, so what? You hadn't even dared to admit she's your mom just a few days ago.
Yeah, I lied, and I'll own that. I should have shouted from the rooftops how proud and lucky I am to have a mom like her. She's a hard-working woman, and the most loving, caring mother anyone could ask for. My real mistake was thinking I had to be anything like you. Because clearly, even with all your wealth, you still can't afford basic decency. Then I turned to my mom and saw her eyes well up with tears. "Mom, please forgive me. I can't express enough how sorry I am and how proud I am to be your daughter. I'll never let you down like that again."
You really know how to make a scene, sweetheart.
Well, I've got to live up to my so-called royal title somehow, don't I? The cafeteria erupted in applause as Beth and Megan stormed off. My mom pulled me into a warm hug.
"So, can you help me with the dishes? Or do you have somewhere to be, Princess of Bella Gate?"
"Great, now you're making jokes too."
"Let's move along, Your Highness. Those dishes won't clean themselves."
It's tempting, I know, the wish to fit in and be like everyone else. But what's more important is being proud of who you are and always remembering to cherish your...
Why did this fence have to be so high? Oh no, that didn't sound good. It was time to get out of here. But, I seem to be stuck. Suddenly, a security team was blinding me with a flashlight and telling me not to move. Not that I could anyway. They dragged me down. Then the next thing I knew, I was being pushed into a chair and interrogated by security guards. But all they got out of me was silence. A few minutes later, Mr. and Mrs. Langston showed up. Yeah, they're the wealthy couple who owns this mansion. They're the people that I was looking for. I suppose I did owe them an explanation. I'm sorry for this disturbance, but it's not what you think. I saw your job advert for a housemaid, and I wanted to apply, but the guard said I was too young and refused to let me in. The thing is, my dad has a rare heart condition, and if he doesn't receive treatment soon, then chances are he won't make it. I really don't have any other choice, so please can I have the job and also 6 months salary advance? Right at that moment, a girl my age fell into the room, peered at the Langstons, then started laughing.
"Carla, this is not acceptable.
Aren't you ashamed of your appalling results for the Francis Academy entrance exam? You should be studying hard to redeem yourself, not out partying at this hour." This Carla girl just rolled her eyes at them, then wobbly walked off. I noticed Mr. Langston comforting his wife, who seemed to be in much distress at the girl's inconsiderate behaviors. So this must be their daughter then. They sure seem to take her education seriously. And she applied to my school. That gave me an idea. You know, if you want to improve Carla's academic performance, I can help you. They both gave me skeptical looks, so I showed them my academic records and told them how I was a valedictorian and had successfully scored a scholarship at Francis Academy. On hearing about my achievements, any apprehensions they had soon faded. And so, they'd come up with a plan, a risky one. They would pay for my dad's hospital fees until he fully recuperated if I took on the identity of Carla and flew to South Korea to study at an international high school there, while Carla would take my place and enroll at Francis Academy just as they wished. This deal sounded like the answer to my prayers, but I knew it would be tricky. Pretending to be somebody else in a completely different country was beyond my understanding, so I agreed to do it, but only on 2 more conditions. First, a guardian must be present, who would take care of all my paperwork and stuff. Second, after I completed the deal and returned, the Langstons had to help me get into my dream school, the prestigious GBA University, obviously. They gave it a thought, then shook my hand in agreement. It looked like we had a deal! The next thing I knew, I was in an elite neighborhood in Seoul, Korea. Whoa! Talk about luxury! So this was what it felt like to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mr. Preston dropped me off at school and repeatedly told me not to draw attention to myself. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, Mr. Preston is the Langstons' lawyer, and according to the contract, he's also my guardian. He seems oh so serious, but I guess he's okay. Whoa, this school looked so modern. The architecture was a work of art all in itself. I wandered around the endless corridors and tried to find my class. Everyone seemed quite friendly, and the class president, Minjun, even gave me a guided tour. All the students' outstanding paintings, photos, and models were displayed all across the campus. Countless classrooms of different subjects, from science to art, just made me gasp in awe. I was admiring the artwork when suddenly Minjun blurted out, "Sorry, I've got to go. Miss Lee is looking for me. It'll only take a few minutes, so wait here for me, okay?" Then he rushed off, so I lingered around the hall. That's when I spotted a group of girls nearby. I recognized the one from my last class. I'm sure her name was Isabella. I was about to walk over to greet them when I realized they had this one girl cornered and were making fun of her hairband. Ugh! Where did you get that horrid thing from? I suppose it must have come from some thrift shop or something. I heard that's where poor people shop. Ugh, this whole thing disgusted me. They outcasted someone just 'cause she didn't come from ridiculously rich households like them. I knew that poor girl's feeling all too well. I gotta help her. But I didn't want to get anyone's back up and draw attention to myself. What could I do? Ah, got it! Hey, the teacher's coming. I'll stall her for you guys. Run! My plan worked a treat, as Isabella and her friends nodded at me, then rushed off. I then went over to the girl asking if she was okay. Get away from me! She flinched me off her and then ran off. Huh? I was only trying to help. As I turned around, I saw Minjun looking at me. A bit impressed, I think. He told me that the students here were divided into 2 groups. 90% are rich, and the remaining 10% are poor kids entering under scholarships. Most of the students are quite friendly to each other. Well, except those I just witnessed. Isabella's part of the rich kid group who think their upbringings make them superior to others. She's often mean to the 10% group as she believes they don't deserve to be here. And as you can guess, that girl they upset, she's called Susie. She's in the 10% group, and she's the smartest student in our year. What nonsense! School is school. We're here to study and should all be treated equally.
Too right, new girl. I knew there was something different about you.
The next day, when class was over, Isabella tapped on my shoulder and thanked me for the warning. Then she asked me to join her group for lunch. I was about to politely refuse when Minjin appeared and asked me to join him. Phew. Thanks to Minjin, I had an excuse to quickly flee the scene. However, I did look back and see that Isabella was giving this offended look. After that, Minjin and I started hanging out more. We soon became close friends, and we both decided that the dynamics around here needed to change. So, we set out to help the 10% Club. One lunchtime, Isabella and her clan purposely bumped into this boy, causing him to spill food all over himself. While they laughed and pointed at him, I rushed over there, took the food, and slammed it onto Minjin's face. Minjin immediately understood my intention. Then he also took a handful of noodles and smeared it all over Isabella. Cue the canteen erupting into one big, messy food fight. Another time, the school was preparing for a cultural fair. One boy from the 10% group had this awesome idea to open a food stall serving traditional dishes from different countries. Everyone agreed, apart from, yep, you guessed it, Isabella and her snooty besties.
Such a peasant. Too used to working as a waiter to serve others, huh?
I winked at Minjin. Then we stayed behind and secretly wrote Isabella and her friends' names on the list of participants and submitted it to the teacher. Now, they had no choice but to serve food at the super crowded fair. The funniest part was they finally got a taste of their own medicine when the 10% group made the most of ordering them around and complaining.
Ew, this ratatouille is too bland. Add some more salt.
And this milk tea is too sweet. Start a new batch with less sugar. I have to admit, I was enjoying watching the mean kids squirm. But I guess my enjoyment hadn't gone unnoticed, as afterward, Isabella approached me.
Those peasant kids aren't at the same level as you and I. I suggest you put more care into who you choose to associate with, or you could end up being treated like they are.
Whatever. I just rolled my eyes, walked away from her, then continued to hang out with my friends in the 10% group. Isabella and her minions gave me dirty looks, but due to the Langston's name and fortune, that's all they could do. Just like that, my high school years passed by. I had some great friends. And guess what? Yep, I was now dating Minjin. I loved being here in South Korea, and I'd even grown fond of Preston, who, despite being a grumpy gut, now felt like family to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I missed my family back home like crazy. But Dad was getting better now, and we regularly FaceTimed. As amazing as my life was now, deep down I always felt like I was living in a dream. None of this truly belonged to me, and everything would be over as soon as I left this place. And eventually, my last week here arrived. As I was studying for my last ever exam, the SAT, I received a message from an unknown number. I know your secret. Drop out of the test, else I'll expose you. What? Who could it be? I called the number and a distorted voice answered the phone. I begged them to tell me why they were doing this, but they just replied,
You don't need to know. Just do as I said.
Then they hung up. Luckily for me, Preston isn't just an amazing lawyer, he's also a tech genius. Thanks to him, we tracked down the location of the phone. I bet you're just as curious as I am to find out who it was. And now was the moment of truth. Huh? No way! Standing there looking startled was Susie! Why would she do this to me? It made no sense. I mean, I know we weren't friends, but I had nothing against her. Why did she despise me to the point of willing to ruin my life like this? Please let me explain. Ever since you arrived here, I lost my top spot at school, which means I've also lost a full scholarship to college. My family will never be able to afford it themselves, so I decided to investigate you. And that's when I found out that you were not the real Carla Langston, and you got paid by her parents to achieve all these academic records for her. I get why you're upset, but you didn't have to blackmail me. You don't strike me as someone who would do such a thing, so it's kind of disappointing that you did. I'm not. I'm a dead end, Irene. You have to understand. This is my entire future I'm losing here. And what for? So some rich, spoiled girl can get into college without doing any of the work? It seemed like I had a lot of thinking to do. In the end, I realized all I felt towards Susie was pity. This was all my fault, and it wasn't fair for someone as capable as Susie to have her entire future ruined because of me. So I had to be the bigger person here. I decided to ask the Langstons to give Susie the spot at GBA University, which was previously reserved for me as part of the deal. I mean, no worries. With this big brain, I could easily get in there on my own, right? And so, as soon as I was done with the test, I quietly left South Korea behind, without saying goodbye to anyone, including Minjin. Susie and I boarded the same flight back to the state. She couldn't help but thank me all the way there. And, well, let's just say, by the time the plane landed, we became good friends. But things didn't all go as swimmingly as I intended. It turned out Carla was even more negligent than first thought. All she managed to get was a high school diploma with shockingly bad grades. These were now my bad grades. My dream of attending a prestigious university was over. I just have to make do with a community college instead. A year flew by, and there wasn't a single day that I didn't think about South Korea or Minjin. I couldn't talk to him anymore. I promised the Langstons I'd cut all ties with my life there. I mean, Susie was the exception. One day while going out with Susie, she was showing me something interesting on Facebook, when we happened to scroll past a post of Minjin's, which read, "Finally I found you, the love of my life." My heart sank. Wow, it looked like he'd found someone else, while my heart still pined for him. But life still goes on, and a week after that, I was waiting for Susie outside of her college, daydreaming how this could have been my life. I saw a familiar face heading towards me. Was that Minjin? But wait! He was with a girl. Carla! Hang on, his Facebook post was about her? The love of his life was Carla? I couldn't do this right now, so I willed back tears as I took a deep breath and turned to walk away. But suddenly, I felt a hand pull me back. It was Minjin. "It's really you! I finally found you! I've been looking ever since graduation, and then my information led me here and to..." "Me!" Carla appeared next to him and smirked at me. Hey, who am I to stop the course of true love? So I told him your real name and helped him search for you. I mean, you're smart, so I figured you'd attend this university too. No, you messed up my grades, remember? Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. I turned and looked at Minjin. "I'm so sorry, Minjin. I wanted to tell you everything, but I couldn't." He took my hand in his and gave me this adoring smile. "I found you. And trust me, right now, that's all that matters."
I waited till my mom went out for groceries, then snuck into her room. "I'm just borrowing. Just borrowing. I'll pay you back soon." I know what it looks like. Trust me, I don't want to steal from my mom. But if I don't do this, then I could lose my boyfriend and my friends. Then I'll be lonely and sad and easy prey for mean kids to tease. Ugh. I rushed to the park to meet Florian, my boyfriend. That's him over there. I walked over to him and handed him the money. "You promise you'll pay it back soon?"
"Sure, babe. You know you can trust me."
I went home and convinced myself that I'd have the money back before Mom even noticed. But the next day at school, I couldn't find Florian anywhere. At break time, I asked my friend if she'd seen him, and she told me the shocking truth. Florian had been sent to reformatory camp. Oh my God! Did he really just scam me? Feeling my eyes tear up, I rushed to a corner in the school garden. Okay, so I don't actually have feelings for Florian. I dated him and hung around with the rebel kids because I wanted to build a cool image. The truth is, I'm just a poor girl. If people find this out, then my life would be over, right? They'd isolate me and tease me. Hey, Shannon, are you okay? Oh no, that's my friend Rachel. I can't have her see me like this. Hey, what's happened?
She sounded so sincere, and I had to admit it. It would kind of be nice being able to confide in someone. So I blurted out how my dad passed away last year, and now Mom struggles to pay the bills, and she works all hours in a factory, and how Florian tricked me into giving him money from Mom's savings. To my surprise, Rachel put her arm around me and, smiling sweetly, said, "It's okay, Shannon. I can lend you the money. You can pay me back whenever." My eyes lit up and I spluttered out, "Really? You do that for me?" "Of course. We're friends, aren't we?" Wow, that was surprising. Turns out I'd massively underestimated my friend. I thought she would tease me if she knew the truth, but instead, she actually sympathized with me and tried to help me. At lunchtime, my friend Dee sat down next to me and asked why I looked so down. I wonder. I then glumly stared down at my yogurt, sighed, and told her how awful things were for me at the moment. She rubbed my arm and told me it would be okay. Then she lent me some money. Wow, it worked again! I did this a couple more times and voila! I had enough money to replace in my mom's box before she even noticed it was missing. Oh, that's so pretty. It would be just perfect for my upcoming model audition, but there's no way I can afford it. I glumly walked off, daydreaming about how amazing I'd look in that dress. "Hi, Shannon!" I turned around and, it was Brett, this dorky guy from school. He hurried over to me, nervously itched at his neck, and then spluttered out, "Hey, Shannon, are you shopping?" Ugh, this guy was so annoying, as if a pretty girl like me would be interested in a dorky guy like him. Hang on. Was that a Louis Vuitton shopping bag in his hands? I must have been looking at it, as he lifted it up and, blushing, said, "Oh, it's a present for my mom's birthday." I stroked his arm, then gave him my best doe-eyed look. "Brett, you're such a good son. Your parents must be so proud of you. I wish I could get my mom something that meaningful too, but we're too poor." I sniffed. "I can't even afford this really pretty dress I need for my audition." Brett smiled sweetly at me and said, "That's okay. How about I get you the dress as a birthday gift? Your birthday's coming up anyway, right? Let's go!" So that's how I ended up with the perfect dress. Oh, and I also ended up with a new boyfriend, Brett. At first, it was great being taken out to posh restaurants and bought lavish gifts for. But then the shine started to fade. I didn't like Brett in that way. In fact, I found him kinda annoying. He's not handsome at all, and he does the dumbest stuff. The other day in the lunch queue, he actually started showing me the terrible dance for his latest TikTok video, and it was so embarrassing. Whenever I had to hang around with Brett, I found myself daydreaming about someone else. This hot boy named Tyler. If only I wasn't stuck in this rut with Brett. But it was worth it for the money and stuff, right? Then one day at school, Rachel came over to me and asked me for her money back. I told her I was really sorry, but I didn't have any at the minute. Rachel sneered. "Really? Then how come you have all this new stuff?" "You know my family's poor. I hardly ever see my mom as she works so much. I don't have any money." "Fine, whatever." She stormed off. Rachel must have spoken to the others about this, as when I was with Brett next to the lockers, they came over to me and all started asking for their money back. I tried explaining to them that I didn't have any money, but one of them snorted. "Yeah, right. You've had us all fooled with your sob story. Watch out, Brett. She'll do the same to you too." Then they walked off. Brett was giving me this questioning look, so I tried to act like everything was fine and started sorting my books out. He didn't say anything after that, so I acted as nothing happened and held onto his arm as we walked to class. Then suddenly, he pushed my hand away. "Is it true? Are you only with me for my money?" "No! How can you say that? Stop being ridiculous." I tried to deny, but he wouldn't quit going on and on, which drove me mad. "You don't trust me? Fine. I don't think I want to be with someone who thinks that little of me anymore. Goodbye." I then stormed off to the girls' restroom. Phew! I almost got exposed. But hey, at least I was now free of Brett, right? But what if Rachel and the others started making more of a fuss about the money? I didn't want them being mean to me about it. I needed to find a way to pay them all back, and fast. I approached Tyler after his basketball practice and asked him if he'd like to go for a drink. There, I put on the waterworks and told him all about my poor family and how I borrowed money from my friends to pay the bills, and now they're all mad at me. Tyler seemed genuinely concerned and instantly handed over some money. I hugged him and repeatedly thanked him. He smelled so good, but I felt kind of bad. This isn't like with Brett, since I really do like Tyler, and I feel guilty for taking his money. After that, I went and found Rachel and the others and paid them back. I thought my friends would be okay with me now, but turns out they weren't. Whenever I passed them at school, they sneered and gossiped about me. This sucked, but at least I had Tyler. We started hanging out all the time, and he was so sweet and funny. He also offered to lend me more money, but I refused as I didn't want to borrow any more than I needed to ever again. Then, that evening, I was scrolling through my social media account when I saw some posts about me. Oh no. They were saying how I took advantage of other people's sympathy to get money. I was freaking out. So I quickly replied to the thread saying it wasn't like that, and my life was hard. But then Rachel commented, "Here she goes, playing the victim again." The next day at school was awful. I felt like everyone was gawping at me. But as long as Tyler was by my side, it's all okay. I was chilling with him by the soccer field when Brett walked over, an angry look on his face. "You used me, didn't you? You never liked me at all. You just wanted my money." I stared at him open-mouthed, not knowing what to say. "That's real low, Shannon. Hey, Ty, if I was you, I'd stay away from her, unless you want to end up in debt." He walked off.
Is what he said true?
No. Well, yes, but it was the past. It isn't like that with you, I promise. Tyler shook his head, then said,
I didn't think you were like that.
Then he grabbed his stuff and left. This was awful. Not only had I lost all my friends, but now I'd lost the boy I truly cared for, too. After that, everyone ignored me at school. It felt horrible to know I was that unpopular, and I couldn't wait to finish school. When my graduation day finally arrived and I went up to get my certificate, suddenly, Rachel rushed up onto the stage and grabbed the mic. "Hey, everyone! I think it's only fair that you all know the truth about Shannon. She uses her friend's sympathy to get money out of us. She even dated a guy just so she could make him buy her everything she wanted." Oh my God. All the teachers, students, and even my mom were staring at me. I felt like I was gonna faint from shame, so I frantically pushed past everyone and raced out of there. When I got home, I locked myself away in my room and cried into my pillow. I was never leaving my room again. The shame was too much. A little later, my mom knocked on my door. Then she came into my room and perched on the edge of my bed.
Honey, I'm just wondering why you did those things.
I told Mom everything about Florian tricking me, how I took money off my friends and used Brett. Then afterward, I took a box from under my bed, opened it, and told Mom it was for her. In it was a new safety outfit for her work, as well as some new casual clothes, too. "Your work outfit is already worn out, and I want you to have nice clothes. I know we aren't wealthy or anything, but you work so hard, and you deserve nice things."
Sweetie, thank you. But you don't have to buy me anything. I know it's been a struggle since your dad passed away. But it's never okay to play the victim to take advantage of people like that.
Then she hugged me.
What's done is already done. Now the only thing you can do is apologize to them all, then start a new life. Become a better person.
So that whole summer, I did just that. I apologized to all of my friends, every single one of them. Well, except Tyler, as he was away all summer. Then I went to college for a fresh start. I swear, I won't make the same mistakes again. I've learned my lesson on that one. Oh, I'm so nervous. Tyler's in the city this weekend and he's agreed to meet me. Oh my god. There he is. This is it. I finally have the chance to apologize to him. I hope he forgives me and sees how much I regret what I did. This time away from him made my feelings grow even stronger. Oh boy, I just miss him so much. He still looks at me with that soft smile and such sparkle in his eyes. I can't lose him this time. And I won't. Wish me luck.